Hey everyone, it's the interview queen, Alicia Atout here, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to my interview with Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood from FTR. What's up, guys?
What's up, Alicia? Thanks for having us on, interview queen.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I'm really psyched to have you guys here. How are you holding up with everything going on the road right now, and how are you two doing and coping?
I got coffee. I'm good.
Coffee's key.
Yeah, things have been all right. Just trying to adapt like everybody else, but also trying to make sure we're living a normal life, or trying to live as normal of a life as we possibly can. And new job, so it's pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
just making a pretty big life transition in the middle of a pandemic. So trying to keep things as normal as we can, trying to live life like there isn't some sort of worldwide shutdown going on.
Yeah.
So, just business as usual.
One thing that's neat about it, and it's kind of the silver lining in all of this craziness, is the fact that we have had the time to take a step back, see our families more. I know you guys spending time with the kids and everything. So has that kind of been something you found too, to have been a silver lining? Because you were used to so much go, go, go and constant traveling.
Yeah, I mean, even when we, in NXT, when we were in NXT, we were the not just myself and Cash, but the whole group. We were the first ones and the catalyst for the NXT traveling group. And so for the better part of 6 or 7 years, myself and Cash have been on the road way more than we've been home. And I am, as I've said in every single interview, I am completely infatuated with my wife and there in my life. And the only reason I do this is so I can provide for them. And I'm just very, very thankful and grateful that I get to be at home with them and spend some time with them. And so there is, I guess, a silver lining to all that.
Yeah, I've said from the beginning that as bad as this is, and as much as people have had to suffer and watch loved ones, go through this, the universe has been trying to tell everybody that we need to collectively slow down. I think that something's got to change. It's something's got to give. And maybe this is something that we wouldn't have done otherwise, but it might be for the best in when it's all said and done. Who knows? But it has been a change of pace for us, because even from NXT through all of our main roster run, I don't think there was a year where we wrestled less than 100 matches, and sometimes way more than that. Like last year, we were at 155 matches, I think it was, by the end of the year. So it's been nice kind of having this time to see your loved ones and rest our bodies up and just take a step back.
I bet. And you had mentioned how there has been a really big change that's happened mid-pandemic, and that is the fact that you are now back with another company. And I know as soon as anyone becomes a free agent, the internet loves buzzing. They love guessing where you're going to end up. Everyone loves making rumors. So how is that for you behind the scenes, seeing all these theories and sitting back on the fact that you were going to appear with AEW?
Yeah, I think that we wanted to get, as I was telling you before we came on air, we wanted to keep as much as we could close to our vest, so we didn't let anything out. There were so many things, and there are so many things that we want to do collectively as a tag team, and that's one of our main reasons for leaving our former employer is we wanted to make a difference. We wanted to make a change. We want to do something good. I've said it for years. We want to do something good for professional wrestling because it's done something good for us for 30 plus years. And I think that our only opportunity to do that was to leave that place, as great as they treated us and as much as they provided for us, to leave that place and come to AEW and test our skills out and see if what we've been saying for the last 7 years is true, and that is that we're the best tag team in the world.
Yeah, like we like to keep people guessing. We like to stir the pot a little bit, so that they never really know what to expect, because I think that's a big part of the fun. When I was a kid and I first fell in love with professional wrestling, I loved that I didn't have access to any of the knowledge. I didn't know. I couldn't read it days before it happened or a week before it happened, and there was just the element of surprise all the time, and I loved that. And if we're able to do that even to a degree now, with all the access people have to the news and the wrestlers, then I want to keep them guessing. I want to keep things like unpredictable, because then when something does happen, even if a lot of people suspectably would show up in AEW,
It's
no
still
one
a
really knew.
surprise.
Yeah. And I love that. I like being able to take people away from reality sometimes, because like we just said, there's a lot of things going on right now. Reality can be hard. It can be draining. So it's nice to be able to be an escape for people if we're able to.
Well, something I've always noticed about you two when watching your matches together is how, whether on the mic or wrestling together, you have this really effortless chemistry. So I wanted you to kind of bring me back, along with the fans watching, to when you both met, and if you actually did hit it off right away, and your first impressions of one another, because sometimes your first impression can totally change within 24 hours of knowing someone, yet alone all the years that you guys have.
Yeah, we've known each other for quite a while, and we've known about each other for quite a while. We both wrestled in the North Carolina independent wrestling scene, and we've known each other for years. But we came together we had both had a tryout in the WWE, and it was before one of the SmackDown tapings, and we had a match, and it was the first match we ever had. They just put us in the ring together. We called it all in the ring. And they said it could go from 2 minutes to 20 minutes, however long they wanted. They said, but we'll tell our referee to tell you when. The first match got out there and it started, and it was over within a couple of minutes. I guess they had seen knew what they, were going to see. It.
One of the matches got disqualified for going against the do not go to the top rope rule almost immediately. So
yeah, and then we had our match, and we started, and then the referee just said, keep going. And we went for, 12 or whatever minutes for a long time. And we kind of just hit it off there. Like I said, we've known each other for a very, very, very long time. But that was the moment that we knew we had something, it just all has fallen into place.
Yeah, like you said, we knew each other for a long time. We were aware of each other because the independent scene, especially in one state, you're going to know of people, even if you don't really know who they are, what they've done, or any of that. You know the names, and you're familiar with them. And like, we were familiar with each other for a long time, and then we started working some shows together. The more like we branched out, and then I've said this before, but we bonded immediately over our love of Bret Hart. There was always that you meet somebody in a wrestling setting, and for a lot of times, if you grew up in a fan of the 90s wrestling, you would ask, are you a Bret or a Shawn guy?
Yep.
And we both were Bret guys, obviously. And that just immediately connection, man. And then we rode together to the tryout one of the nights, like you said, and we ended up working each other, and they just kept giving us more time. I said, all right, guys, just keep going then. All right, this is great. Keep going. Just go. And so it ended up being 12 minutes, maybe more, who knows. It was just all on the fly, and we got done. We had Jamie Noble and Regal and a couple others approach us immediately, and it was kind of off from there, really.
It's interesting you mentioned Bret Hart. So I remember seeing a tweet, I think it was from you, Dax, not too long ago, and someone asked you about your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, and you literally just said Bret Hart times 4. For both of you, obviously bonding over that, do you genuinely think that he is the best there is?
Oh my God, yeah. And we only have a few minutes, so I'm not going to take up a lot of time with Bret Hart, but
right.
I've said it before. There have been a lot of guys. Not a lot of guys. There have been a few guys who have been more over than Bret Hart has. Obviously, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, The Rock. There have been more guys. There have been more guys that have been more over than Bret, but he had something different. He was over to a different degree, and he made you care about him, and he made you connect with him on an emotional level. And real quick, the day that I decided to be a professional wrestler, my mom got me the King of the Ring Night 3 pay-per-view for my birthday. And I watched that, and I was a Bret fan before, but I watched that pay-per-view, and I didn't know what I was watching, or I didn't know what I was picking up, but 3 incredible matches, 3 different matches, and he made me believe through that whole pay-per-view that he was never going to give up. And when that pay-per-view was over and he won the King of the Ring, I told my mom that's what I want to do for a living. That's what I want to do for the rest of my life. But he just made me, and he still does today. I'll watch, I'll send Cash clips of, Bret Hart matches that I'm watching, and I'll just shake my head and
That's awesome.
say a cuss word, because I can't believe how good and how effortlessly good he is.
A lot of the guys that Dax named, they got to the level of stardom they did because they were larger than life. And Bret, even though he had that aura about him, he humanized himself. And so he made people connect with him on a level that not a lot of guys could, because you look at Hogan and Austin and Rock, and they're almost like this unachievable level of superhuman. Whereas Bret, he made you feel sympathy for him. He made you feel like his happiness, his pain. He could create a bond with his fans that not a lot of people are able to do. And I think that's why his legacy, other than the fact that he actually is probably the best in-ring professional wrestler of all time, his legacy has lasted so long because he built a bond that you can't break with his people.
No, I went through that too growing up. He was always one of my favorites, and it was about 3 years back I got to meet him, and I don't usually freak out, but that definitely was a moment where, during the interview, you're just sitting there like, holy crap, that's Bret Hart. So,
Yeah.
Definitely been there. Now
completely justified to freak out.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Now, you definitely are very active on social media, and one of my favorite things, aside from watching guys promote all of the upcoming AEW matches and things going on, is just how you clap back at trolls. You really seem to live up to the FTR motto. So is there a certain point where you just started to kind of see things come through and realize, it's more fun to just kind of snap back at people and play with it a bit rather than let it get to us?
Yeah, I like being sarcastic. I like being an asshole. So that's always more fun for me. I like acknowledging people that are fans of ours also, but I don't want to constantly retweet that, because then it just kind of seems like we're putting ourselves over, and we already know we're the best, so we don't have to constantly do that.
There's no need.
It makes it seem like we're insecure.
We're humble AF, so but it's always fun to see somebody who thinks they have even an inkling of an idea of how things work, and to just shut them down, because they're going to try to argue, they're going to try to think they're right, and they're going to try to act like opinions. Everybody can have their opinion, that's fine. That doesn't make it correct. I can have an opinion on how space travel works. It doesn't mean it's going to be correct when I go up against a scientist. So it's just fun. It's fun to shut somebody down in the most sarcastic way possible.
Plus, it's fun to read. It's really fun to watch the interactions and see people. Half your feeds, actually, funny enough, are people who said rude things. You say something that's amazing, it blows them out of the water, and then their feed's gone. It says this tweet is unavailable.
Or they'll say, just kidding, big fan, love you guys.
Right.
Nah, you just wanted attention.
Well, something.
Yeah, I think ultimately it goes back to making people guess, and also if you can take the people out of their element for a second because they think they're so smart that they want to like you because you're such a bad guy. But if you actually make people think, man, maybe he is a terrible human being. And I think it does go back to our everyday lives because, we're short fused. And I don't know if it's our North Carolina nativeness or whatever, but we are short fused. But just like the deal with the Ray Phoenix mask, there's so many people that are upset with me right now for taking his mask off, and I don't care. And Ray, if he cares, I don't care, because he knows that as long as he gets to work with FTR, he's going to make the most money and going to make the most impact because he's wrestling with the best tag team. So he can't be too mad.
Wear a tighter mask.
Wear a tighter mask. Good advice. Now, the one last thing that I wanted to ask, because I know our time is coming sadly to a close. Obviously, from all the traveling and working together you guys have done over the years, you know one another really, really well. So on a very serious note, to test that bond, if you guys were at a restaurant, what would you order your tag team partner to make him happy? Let's see if you guys are right about each other.
Getting his is easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his would be, I would get him a bacon cheese, it depends on the restaurant, but a bacon cheeseburger with no tomatoes, no onions.
Oh my God.
Picky.
And fries. And it depends on if we had a show the next day or next couple of days. If not, I'd get him a beer. If so, maybe a Coke Zero to drink.
Okay.
He's right. He's
Nailed it.
He's a lot more difficult to choose for because he's terrified of carbohydrates. He's always trying to eat.
I used to be a really fat kid, like almost 300 pounds fat. So I am afraid of carbs for some reason.
And I tell him all the time, like, we just wrestled. You gotta replenish, and we're never gonna be body guys. We're not gonna be stepping on stage anytime soon. Eat a little bit, heal your body up. So I would order the burger, knowing that I'd probably eat 3/4 of it and save him the last little bit because he loves eating everybody's scraps. That way he doesn't have to order it. But CJ Parker, Juice used to give him so much crap because he would order. We'd all go out after a show and we'd all order burgers or a steak or something, and he'd get a salad. So
would you? Staying away from those bums.
And Juice would just say, "Oh, should we get him a summer shandy too?"
I've never had summer shandy in my life.
I would get him the same thing and just convince him that it's okay to eat it.
Would that work though? Probably not.
Depends on the day.
Yeah, it depends on the day.
Okay.
It ended up being a salad or a steak of some sort probably, but if I could convince him, if we just beat the crap out of the Lucha Brothers, I could probably get him to eat a burger.
True. Yeah. Well, you guys clearly know one another very, very well. So I want to say thank you so much for taking the time, for hopping on here. Congratulations with everything going on right now. And honestly, best of luck with whatever's next. I'm really psyched for you two.
Thanks for having us, Alicia. That was fun. Anytime.
Everyone, thank you guys. Everyone, this has been Cash and Dax. I'm the interview queen, Alicia Atout. Be sure to check out FTR every Wednesday night on AEW and AliciaAtout.com for all exclusive interviews and features. We will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.